After watching Iron Man, we need to go back to square one. You know, the story of this genius, self-centered billionaire becoming a better version of himself was a fresh story that I think we all appreciated at the time. And the superheroics are just the cherry on top. Now let me take you back to 2008. I'm 10 years old, and basically anything Marvel, I'm going dummy for. You throw Spider-Man on a turd, I'm losing my mind. And so watching Iron Man at that age, it was already a 10 out of 10 for me. I was already gonna rave about this movie right when I leave the theater. But it's 2026 now. And how does Iron Man hold up? And am I even excited to watch it? Of fucking course I am. I just got done watching a dumpster fire of a Marvel movie. I needed to watch something good. Now let me give credit where credit is due. Robert Downey Jr., number one, he's Iron Man. You know, he took the character to the next level, and it's kind of hard to see him as anything else when I'm watching a movie of his. He's Iron Man. He's Tony Stark. I see him on the street, that's Tony. The visuals were legit as fuck too. You know, the CGI holds up. You know, it feels like I'm actually watching this thing being put together. It's still as good as you remember it from when you were a kid. Now, you know me, after a couple episodes, music doesn't mean a lot to me, but the music that they choose during certain scenes, it fits perfectly. Again, I'm just not the type to really care about the music, but it works in this movie. Tone-wise, this is when Marvel was doing shit right. The feeling of a guy that we shouldn't like, get awards, get checks, get hoes, dress in nice clothes. You know, we shouldn't like this guy, but we do. And you know, we don't see him change per se, but we just see his moral compass change. And honestly, how they pull this off is pretty impressive. Then to get into like emotional beats, I think they did this really well. I don't think it was the best, but I think they did this to where it just works for this film. You know, when it was a sad scene, you felt sad. When it was a angry scene, you felt furious. When it was a horny scene, you felt...
What?
Now, there's one thing that I'm gonna need the Iron Man nerds to help me out with. Now, I'm not gonna act like I'm not a nerd myself. I've read a few comic books where Iron Man is present, but how does he hold up compared to his theatrical, you know, big screen character versus the actual character from the comics? From what I've gotten, I've read, you know, Civil War, I've read Spider-Man Life Story, and Tony kind of comes off more so as an asshole. Do you guys get that in the comic books, or is he kind of a piece of shit? Let me know. Now, as much as I like this movie, there are some things that I didn't really like. I think Obadiah was a good villain in a standalone sense, but his motives weren't very compelling to me. Like, why not just say, fuck it, we're in the energy business now. I mean, I get it, weapons are your bread and butter, but Tony could have literally made a new form of energy for the whole world that nobody can compete with that. No one can compete with the arc reactor. I just don't think he thought this shit through at all. Kind of nitpicking here was the relationship between Pepper and Tony. I just don't think that it works for me in this movie particularly, only because it's like, yo, this is a big change for Tony. And she's known him for a long time. She knows that he's a playboy, he's kind of a prick, and you know, he doesn't really care. He doesn't have a lot of things that he's attached to. I just don't know how they became a thing. I just feel like it's a little rushed, to be honest with you. Like, why would she have any interest in Tony, you know, besides like, you know.
She ain't messing with no broke.
And last thing, and it's more so an observation, Tony didn't just make his arc reactor with a box of scraps. You know, he had a bunch of fucking tools with him. He had a bunch of other weapons that he grabbed from. So that was Obadiah kind of being an asshole to that engineer, because it's like, come on, bro. Number one, he didn't do it with
a box of scraps!
It's Tony Stark. You know, come on. Don't do that to Christmas Story, all right? As I mentioned earlier, we need to go back to square one. Now, Marvel has come a long way, but maybe it's a long way in the wrong direction. Like, let's recap a couple things that have been introduced. Magic, space travel, enhanced beings, cosmic stones, multiverses, you know, just things that are far away from what this movie is. And as time progressed, it felt like, yeah, things got bigger and it's on a grander scale, but the consequences, the stakes just have shrank, honestly. It's like I don't really care what happens because anything can happen, anybody can be brought back, and it's kind of like almost like the Dragon Ball Z issue where people can just get wished back or fucking snap back, you know what I'm saying? Now, with the return of RDJ in Doomsday, it kind of feels like a slap in the face for his sacrifice in Endgame. Like, you know, what was the point of that then? Why couldn't we just find another actor, if anything? Because it does feel like they're gonna go with, oh, it's a Tony Stark variant. And I'm not jacking that. Pause. I don't like that. I don't think that should be the route this goes. I think we need to do a traditional Victor Von Doom. Give that character its credit. Now, Robert Downey Jr., again, as I'm saying, man, he's fucking Iron Man. But is he Dr. Doom? Now, in my humble opinion, look, maybe it's time to close the book on the MCU and just start fresh. Start with something new. But to be honest with you, I don't think Marvel has the balls to do that. This is for the parents out there. Some of you were 10 when you watched this, just like me. But now you have some kiddos, and is it appropriate for them to watch?
No, you don't have to be like me, but you are more than what you are. Don't see it. No, I just can't be.
Now, it's not the most inappropriate scenes in movies, but you know, it might be a little too inappropriate for anybody under 13, right? And to the parents that are looking for like a lesson in watching these Marvel movies, Iron Man is a movie about righting wrongs, you know, taking accountability and changing for the better. That's something that, if you're watching this with your kids, that's something that you can kind of throw in there at the end, kind of just like, hey, did you get this from this movie? But overall, they're gonna have a blast watching it. I had a blast watching it again in 2026. Now, last but not least, where does this rank in the MCU? Yeah, I put it at A tier. Fight me. I'm not gonna say S tier yet. I don't think we have one yet going in chronological order. But yeah, A tier, come on. It's not that bad, right? Hey guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, and if you want to keep up with more Marvel Monday reviews like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Every Monday, dropping a new episode. See you guys next time.